Really, the resilience that you see from some of those Palestinians is something extraordinary, and can only be explained based back to faith. Faith
Mm.
that, and this is what really Islam clearly states. This is a matter of fact. There's no discussion that we are created to live forever. We humans are created to live forever. So we don't look at this life as the only life. This life is just one phase. And most likely it's the shortest phase in our existence. But it's crucial in the sense how we carry ourselves internally and externally in this world really sets the ground for how our eternal life is going to be. So the people that you find have lost their loved ones, they've lost their houses, they lost everything. Literally, they lost everything. And then they show that resilience, they show that dignity, and
Mm.
they just say, praise be to Allah. They see this as their stepping stone to the eternal life. And many of them are not even afraid of death. When someone believes that that this is the only life that we live here in this world, they are justified in that idea, in that kind of understanding. They are justified to fear death and avoid death by all means, because that means the end. And we are petrified of the idea or the concept of the end, of coming to a point of non-existence. It's like we're going into the unknown, we go into this void. It's a scary idea. And that's why death is
Mm.
not mentioned often. It's actually always frowned upon to talk about death, or as in a personal sense, to even reflect on our own finite nature, on the moment we're going to leave this world. But really, when someone truly holds on to the belief of Islam and they internalize it, in the sense they awaken, it's already the seed of that, as we said, is already there, built in us. But our engagement with divine words, with the revelation, based on deep contemplation, it awakens that faith. It it enhances it. It becomes more prominent in our life. It becomes more dominant in the way we process the world. So death is inevitable, and it's just a transition to the next world. So it ceases to be a pivotal point. It ceases to be a point of paralysis. The focus is shifted to, what am I doing with my life? How am I using my life? Because life ultimately is a test. This is what this life is for. We are given a moral ultimatum, if you like. We're given a moral challenge. Since you spoke about challenges, we're given a moral challenge. The challenge is not about staying alive, although we have a responsibility to stay alive, to preserve our life and the life of others, because it's a God-given gift, and life belongs to the Creator, to Allah. He gives it, He takes it. We are given a responsibility to preserve it, but we have a higher value, since we also spoke about values. The higher value is the moral choices that we make, is whether we handle this life, as I said, with morality and dignity, doing the right thing. Do we side with the right or the wrong? It's ultimately a moral choice. This life is a moral challenge. That's what really matters. It matters more than whether I die or live. What really matters, the most important question for someone who truly believes in Allah being our creator, who believes in the hereafter, and that there will be an account, reckoning, that we will be held accountable, and there's an eternal life, either in paradise eternally, or in the hellfire eternally. And paradise is really about being with Allah, is about being with the Creator. People think about all these pleasures. These pleasures are the treat. They are the secondary. They are like the gifts that are given on top. They are like the icing on the top. But the reality of paradise in Islam, and as I said, when I say in Islam, all of the prophets and the messengers, is returning to your Creator, returning home, being with Him, being in close proximity to Him, enjoying that company, which is the most enjoyable thing in the human experience. We can get a glimpse of it in this world through our engagement with spirituality, but we get it fully. People who make it, people who make the right choices, they live eternally in that state, and it's never exhaustible. They never grow bored of it. So the big question for the believer is whether I'm making the moral choice. Am I siding with the truth versus falsehood, or am I siding with what's good versus what's evil? That's the ultimate question in this life.